Right, well, that is Arsenal then. Manchester City, meanwhile, 6 points behind the leaders. That is after their 2-1 win at Anfield yesterday over Liverpool. We spoke in detail about Manchester City in the last hour. I want to talk to you a little bit about Liverpool at the moment, though, who are, 4 points behind Chelsea in 5th place. Jamie Carragher saying he can't see them making those Champions League places now. Where do you stand on how the rest of the season is going to go for Arne Slot's side?
Now, they've still got a chance. As I said, they've got some games coming up now where you look at it and think if Liverpool can get... I don't think they were bad against City. I just feel like Alisson makes a mistake with the penalty and it kind of, and Haaland puts it away before that, and it's a good header from Haaland, and Bernardo Silva puts it away. Other than that, Liverpool had chances in the game. Ekitike had some big chances to score. So, yeah, it's a good finish from Bernardo Silva. And then Alisson had a brain freeze and then comes out and gives the penalty away. But I still think Liverpool can finish in them Champions League places. But if they don't finish in the Champions League places, he's not going to be in the job in the summer. And that's my honest opinion. I don't care if they say about he won the Premier League last season. A club like Liverpool need to be playing Champions League football, I think, for the money that they spent this summer.
Yeah, I mean, Liverpool were good in the second half, particularly yesterday. They had a lot of chances. But I don't know what you think about this. When they took the lead, where was the game management there to try and just kill the game for the next period?
Yeah.
It seemed to continue along the theme of being a bit more open, City coming back into it, and Liverpool couldn't seem to get control of the game. Is that a worry?
It is a worry because it's like you attack, we attack.
Yeah.
It's like, I know football's different and it's a different manager, but what I'm saying, if you're 1-0 up, you're playing against one of the best teams around, you know how good City are, and they're going to come onto you. So just stay in your shape, because you've got the players like the Salah, the Ekitike, the Wirtz, Gakpo that will take you up the pitch and can catch Man City open. And we see about Man City with their high line. But I just feel they wanted to go and get the second goal and wanted to get the third goal. But you have to credit, obviously, Man City, because they've got that never say die attitude and got back into the game. And I said it was a mistake from Alisson why they went on and won it. But then Donnarumma makes a fantastic save. But I just feel, I look at it, and I know they won it last year, Liverpool, and huge respect to Arne Slot. But this is a team that don't play at that intensity which we see with Jurgen Klopp. I just think and you know what? Sometimes with Arne Slot, and I've said it, some of his press conferences, he talks too much about their weaknesses. Stop telling the whole world what your team don't like doing. Because if I'm a manager and we've got you next week, I'm going to do exactly what you're saying in the press conference. So sometimes you got to look at yourself, and I think he now has to look at himself and say, I need to get this team into the Champions League, because if I don't think I'll be in a job next year.
I thought it was curious as well. We had the internal video release last week with Arne Slot and some of the Liverpool hierarchy, and within that, Slot said they want to win, but they want to win playing entertaining football. And I said on the show on that day, to use a kind of boxing term, styles make fights. You can only play entertaining games and entertaining football if your opponent wants to do the same thing. Sometimes your opponent just wants to sit in that low block that he's mentioned already this season. And Manchester City came and played. We had an entertaining game. Liverpool didn't win, though. That's the problem that he's got. And even in the games where it was entertaining, they didn't manage to get over the line. We know what Sunderland are going to do in midweek, don't we? They're going to hit those long balls.
So that's our hard place to go, Sunderland. It's a big game for them.
At home.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Unbeaten. It's a hard one. I still think Liverpool have enough to cause them problems, but it's a difficult one. You won't go there and say Liverpool are favourites, because Sunderland, as Dave said, haven't lost at home. They've been outstanding, and they beat a few big teams there at home as well. And it's a hard place to go, Stadium of Light. But they need to start picking up results sooner rather than later, that's for sure, because they've been nowhere near good. And with that squad of players, they should be doing much better. I know they've had injuries to key players and stuff like that, but that starting 11 should cause problems. And a huge blow, Dominic Szoboszlai, who's been their best player this season, is now missing. Yeah. Anyway, that's through VAR. Let's move on from that.
Yeah, we have spoken about that. We got your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
What a goal, though.
Wait, what a goal.
Yeah, right. Coming up next, Cole Palmer starred as he scored a first-half hat-trick against Wolves on the weekend, but should he be part of Thomas Tuchel's World Cup plans? What do you make of Newcastle's sort of recent performances? Because we've heard Eddie Howe say that he feels they haven't been particularly bad. Statistically, they've been strong. The results maybe haven't matched that. I don't know if that is the thoughts of the fans at the moment, but what do you make of their recent run?
No, I understand they've been in games, but you know the thing is, at Newcastle, it's because he's done such a good job. The expectation at the football club is so high at the minute. I agree with Eddie Howe won't be leaving Newcastle Football Club. It's probably 5% of fans in Newcastle that are disappointed at the moment, and there's a lot of other fans and probably questioning Eddie Howe, where 95% of them I love Eddie Howe. The job he's done there, he goes as one of the most successful managers ever in Newcastle. I think he's done a brilliant job. He's still got that hunger, desire. One thing I will say, if Newcastle ever make the decision to let Eddie Howe go, make it known he'll get another job. And it could be even as far as going as the England manager. Because that's how much high I rate Eddie Howe. I think he's a fantastic manager. The job he's done there at Newcastle. At the moment, like every club, they're in a sticky situation. The away form hasn't been good enough. They've had their best player, Bruno Guimaraes, missing. He was back on the weekend. And the signings that they made in the summer, I thought it would be an outstanding season for them. It took time for these players to not adjust or get to the levels that we're seeing. But I still think Newcastle could end up having a good season. So I hate to see Eddie Howe down like that because I think he's a top manager. And at the moment, he goes through hard times. Players do it, managers do it. He'll come out the other side because he's a top manager.
It feels like it's interesting you talk about the summer because I think they made 5 signings.
Yeah.
When you look at those signings, have they worked out so far? I think Malik Chow's been good, but then Wisso's obviously been injured a lot, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been injured. You can't really judge him. And I think Nick Voltemada
started well.
Yeah, started well, but I think he'll be a good signing. You've got to realise he's at a good age. And I didn't think they wanted to throw him into the mix straight away, but Vissa's injury, he had to. And I think he's done a good
There's Anthony
job.
Elanga
But that's
hasn't
the
worked
one
out yet.
Hasn't worked out. But we know his potential. The goal he scores in midweek against Man City in the cup when they get knocked out, it's a brilliant goal. That's what Elanga we saw at Nottingham Forest. So he needs to get those kind of performances, what we know he can get. So yeah, listen, it's been difficult for Newcastle. They're one of the richest clubs, but they just can't spend the money at the moment because of the rules and stuff like that. So it is disappointing where they are at the moment, but it's still, when everyone's fit and firing, they'll be all right. And they have big issues at defensively because they've had too many injuries. Their best defender in Livermento's injured. The young man's an outstanding defender, but he can't buy luck at the moment. With him on the right back and Lewis Hall on the left back, 2 very good young English prospects. So, yeah, it's been difficult, but I don't ever doubt Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe is a top manager. And listen, let me tell you something. If they don't want him at Newcastle, which I know most of the fans do, Oliver Glasner's leaving in the summer. We'll take him at Crystal Palace in a heartbeat. I'm just saying it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if Newcastle fans are like that.
No, they won't, but I said if they don't want him.
Yes,
but listen, I think 95% of the fans there love Eddie Howe. He's a top manager.
Well, from the northeast down to the south coast, boos also heard at Brighton on the weekend and towards their boss in Fabian Hürzeler. What do you make of their predicament at the moment? Just 1 win in the last 12 in the Premier League. What do you feel like has happened to Brighton?
Yeah, I don't know what's happened. Listen, I think the style of football is definitely different from De Zerbi. And this season, they've kind of down tools. We always speak highly of Brighton about their recruitment and the players that they brought in. And you look at it now, but one thing I know of the chairman, he doesn't make rash decisions. So he won't, even though the fans are saying that, and with the boos and that, Hürzeler has to stand up and get on with it. He's a young manager. As I say, there's players in that team that are older than him. But yeah, the performances have been nowhere near good enough for the standards that Brighton have set. And they've got to look over their shoulders now because the team's in and amongst them. If Palace were in it on the weekend and Palace have beaten them and gone ahead of Brighton, then Brighton must be in trouble. So there's big question marks over him at the moment. But I don't think Brighton will get sucked into the relegation battle.
You mentioned Palace then, who ended their winless run with